Yeah, he had things a lot more together than I do. So
Oh man, I don't know. I'm always mad at past me because he's always putting crap on my plate. Hey, we should start recording.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
should.
You guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Three, two, one. Blast off. Record.
Blast off record.
Blast off. Recorded.
Balance restored.
Orion launched. What?
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh, this is gonna be an
weird.
interesting week. I hope my voice holds up. Like I woke up this morning. I felt great yesterday. I'd been like eating well and like moving around more, like really on the ball. And then I woke up this morning and it felt like there was a baseball stuck in my throat. My stupid niece got me sick.
Yeah, sure. Blame the innocent one.
She's the only one that's sick over there. And
How
I
do you know
like
if somebody else didn't get you sick, who's just like a carrier?
it could be. It could be.
I
But
don't understand disease. I don't know how
it's
it works.
like magnets. How do they work?
Magic.
Disease, how does it work? I need to adjust my microphone. I'm crouching too much. I keep doing that. Okay, here we go. Um all right, all right.
All right, all right, all right.
Um I feel like I'm not prepared for this, but I am.
Yeah, I know. I feel in that same. I think it's just residual not preparedness from the other things in my life. So
I feel that way too.
Okay.
So
Well, I'll
I
start. What?
no, no, nothing. Go ahead. Not important.
I'll start out. Oh, I tried testing a thing. So one of the things I started doing that made our sound a lot better was I started using the service called Auphonic.
mm.
It's a German company, and so like most of their facts and things are like in German, but or when they have videos that's like with a German accent. It's very cute because it's like with the precision audio, we can make your voice sound like it's like just so cute.
I don't know if I've ever heard a German accent described as cute before,
Well,
but
because like they're so like about precision. Do you know what I mean? Like everything must be just so imprecise. So
mm,
it's just funny. But
okay.
what it does is it's like you upload your audio, upload all your tracks to a server, and it like balances out the sound and stuff like that. Um, and I tried using, so we've been using that where I send my final mix through that to get all the levels right. But
Yeah.
I did a test with the Christmas recording that we did already, sending it all of our separate tracks, and then it tries to like cut out silence and like it adjusts for the drift and stuff like that.
hmm
And it worked pretty well, but the problem is it's like I still want to cut stuff, so I'm trying to find out because it would make my life a lot easier,
Right.
but I still would want to edit things, so I don't know if it's a waste of time.
You need, yeah, because I mean, you need to edit out all of our racism. So
But all the things we say that could land a federal agent at our door.
yeah, last week we talked for like 2 hours about Ferguson, and it was just all gone from the podcast, which is probably for the best.
Probably. Because I think all of you guys said that I don't understand what everyone's so upset about over there. Like
Yeah,
I was the
racism.
only one.
Like, what I don't understand is that racism is over. So, I mean,
So
what's
are
the
you even
big
worried
deal?
about it?
I don't even remember that. That's how long ago that feels in my mind.
You don't remember that because it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was
That's
like,
so
well, I
funny
was
that you
like,
weren't quite
could
sure.
have happened, but
Wait,
I'm not
what,
sure.
okay, this makes me really sad that you weren't sure that we were joking because I was saying something that was so completely ludicrous that I'm really upset that you thought I could. Why, like, why
um,
would you not just discount that outright?
because
Like, what part
my
of my
my
character leads you to believe that I could say such things?
This is like the opposite of the problem that I have, where people think everything I say is a joke. and they laugh, and it's like, I was serious there. I really
It's
meant that.
the days are short, but the weeks are long, and
Now I
that
feel
could have
like
been a million years ago.
now I just feel like I need to clarify that what I said about racism being over was a joke because it's not. It's not over. And that
If you
is
Great.
want to
not
edit
what
that
I'm
part
doing.
out for Aaron, just make it so everyone hates him.
No.
I'm glad I'm the one in control. All right, let's start. Let me do the read-in. Okie dokie. Welcome to Three Guys, Three Questions, where three friends test the limits of propriety through the questions we ask. Today is December 6th, 2014. This is episode 14 of season 2. I'm Aaron L.M. Goodwin, and I'm joined, as always, by Andrew Savage.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
You always ask these questions that we'll never get a response for.
Hey, I'm waiting.
I'm also joined by Adam. Holy crap, finals are coming. Anderson. Did I read that right? Did I pronounce your
Yeah,
middle name right?
you really captured the essence of my inner monologue.
I'm glad. This week we are actually sponsored by Leftover Salsa.
Oh, you've got some right there. That's
Yeah, I
okay.
have some leftover salsa. Well, you order like 2 burritos, and they give you like 6 things of salsa, and you only really need like 2 or 3. And I feel really bad letting it go to waste because like it's some really good salsa.
Buy some chips or make your own burritos.
Yeah, I might get some chips.
Or next time, don't get as much salsa.
I can't really control it. Like it's kind of random. Sometimes I don't have enough salsa. Sometimes they give me too much salsa.
Well, then save your salsa for the times when you don't have enough.
Maybe.
This
But I'm
is,
running
this
out
is
of room in my
this is
fridge.
just like, I mean, there's 7 years of plenty in which you store up your salsa, and then there's 7 years of famine in which you use all of your
I
stored
don't
salsa.
want to have like a
We read about this in the Bible, Aaron.
emergency food storage for my salsa.
As interesting as this topic is,
Oh, hey, let's discuss some follow-up and feedback from previous episodes. How does that sound?
I guess that's okay.
Adam, yours is the first item.
Oh, so last week I was talking about how I wanted to get my PhD in BS, and then I found a video in which somebody had basically gotten their PhD in BS. It's the video of the turbo encapulator, and it makes as much sense as the word encapulator. Essentially, it's wonderful, and everybody should watch it. And I don't know, I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just amazing.
It's pretty incredible. It'll be in the show notes, and you should all go and watch it. And there's also a follow-up video, like a second video. It's it's amazing. It's just like a masterpiece of BS.
It's really good because it starts out with very little BS, and it's like, okay, it talks about like a transmission. It's like, oh, we here at Chrysler, like, okay, I know what Chrysler is. That's a car company. It's like we've designed a new transmission. It's like,
Transmissions.
okay,
Okay.
you know what a transmission is, and then he starts talking about forces. Like, I know forces, but then he just says things like reductive, radiocentric, polyamorous.
They just start throwing in all kinds of jargon.
Like,
And the actors that do it, if they're actors, I don't know, but they just like
Yeah.
have the straightest faces. It's brilliant.
it's amazing.
This is what podcasts are made for, talking about videos.
I'm pretty
that's
sure.
what I was about to say. I'm like, let's just have them watch it, guys.
Sorry, I got excited.
That's okay. That's okay. In the back of my mind, I'm just stressed about all the homework I have to do, and I can't hear Aaron, so.
Oh yeah, Aaron went silent again.
Am I back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that.
You think you'd be able to tell when you muted yourself with your fancy new headphones?
No, because the sound still comes in for me. It's only muting me out to you guys.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know when I'm muted.
That was a dig at you that you refused to accept.
Because it was illegitimate. Second piece of follow-up is a clip that my buddy Todd sent me from having to do with our discussions on Saturday Night Live, and it is a bit from Tosh.0, that show. I don't really watch that because Daniel Tosh is kind of a huge douche, but it's a pretty funny clip, like what he has to say about Saturday Night Live. And I think the winning quote from it is he's basically talking about someone who was complaining about Saturday Night Live, and he said, "If writing sketch comedy made Dave Chappelle lose his mind, what makes you think you could do any better?" I think that's a pretty good argument. And then he talks about how people always say SNL was better in the past because you were just excited to be 15 and up at midnight. That's
So
pretty funny.
I take issue with the argument of it's hard to write and therefore it's good.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't think
You
that's a
feel that
true
way and be
thing.
wrong. That's fine.
And also, I don't have to make better sketch comedy than SNL to just not like SNL.
No, I
No,
think
that's
you
what
do.
you have to do. That's what you have to do to be a board certified critic of
I'm
Saturday
not.
Night Live.
I'm not even. I don't want to be a board certified critic. I just don't want to
Well, then
watch
what are we doing
SNL.
here? What are we doing here?
I say tell that, Adam.
I don't want to talk about this anymore because I'm sick of hearing how wrong Adam is.
Everything he just says is like, oh my goodness, so much more wrong. Oh, anyway, keep going.
I wonder if this is how our listeners feel all the time.
Why are they so wrong?
I wonder, do you think anybody listens to us just to be mad at us?
I hope so.
I don't think so, because I feel like usually angry people are the most vocal,
That's true.
and so we would probably hear from them. Instead, we keep having the experience of someone who like we admire or who we listen to contacting us, and like or we talk to them about the show and they're like, "Oh yeah, I listen, I love it." And it's like, "Oh, why didn't you ever say that before?" Like, why am I finding out about this now? It's like everyone's like a secret listener and they just don't like. It's
They're
okay,
just
you can tell
embarrassed.
us you like our show. We
It's like
won't be weird.
it's a secret. It's like they're embarrassed.
Keep it.
They don't want people to know that they listen to our show.
They're like ashamed of it.
They listen in their secret chambers.
I don't even care if you're ashamed or whatever, but I would appreciate more feedback, because for the amount of people who download the show, we really don't hear back from you. That's why we keep begging for feedback.
Mhm.
And it's really odd.
And if you send us an email, we promise that we won't tell anyone.
That's not true. We'll tell everyone.
Okay,
Adam's
but we
mom
won't.
already knows if you email us.
But we won't tell anybody your name. So
Okay.
you don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to worry about being shunned from
You
polite
can actually
society.
ask us questions too on if you go to 3g3q.co/ask. You can actually do that anonymously. You don't have to fill out your name. You can send us an anonymous question if there's just like some question that you've been wanting to ask but you're afraid that we'll judge you. Just ask.
And if you do that, I am both too lazy and too unskilled to track you down. So you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. If you guys think we're gonna track you down, you're overestimating our both of our abilities and our drive.
Of course, with finals week coming up, I might just be in need of a good procrastination. So
No.
come on.
Speaking of finals week, let's I
All
got
right.
this gnawing thing on the back of my neck. I gotta get done.
If you're new to the show, here's how it works. Each host asks a question, then each host gives their answer. Hilarity, hopefully, ensues, and we move to the next question. I have today's first question, so here it goes. What was the first grown-up book you read, and what did you think? Grown-up is in quotation marks, you know what I mean?
Right, it's in quotation marks, but follow-up question, I don't know what you mean by grown-up book. Like book with chapters, book without pictures.
Like a book that adults would read and not children. Does that make, like, I don't know. It seems clear in my mind.
Ones
I
without
guess.
magical ponies or
Like a book
Like,
that you wouldn't be assigned in your grade school classes.
but like Does the Redwall series count? Because that's probably the first like chapter book without pictures that I read.
No
Or maybe
fantasy
not the
count.
first, but it's the first one I remember.
I refuse to acknowledge fantasy as a genre. They can count. Yeah, that can count.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Everything since Tolkien
Is this
is
just
not
because
good
I don't
enough.
like SNL, Aaron?
Yes.
Is this how all of my answers are going to be?
I think if there's talking animals and it's not a joke.
You refuse to what? Accept it?
Yeah, it's just not. It's out. No, you can go ahead. If
Have you read these? Have you read the Redwall series of books?
I know it's like a talking rat, whatever.
Yeah, and there's battles, people die, and in the middle somewhere there's always a huge feast. Not on the people who died though. That'd be weird.
No, that's good because
They're two separate
like
events.
cannibalism. We should talk about cannibalism at some point.
Yeah,
One of
yeah,
these
we
weeks.
should later in the future
Yeah.
around Christmas time because I feel like that's a very Christmassy topic.
Chests roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost chewing on your toes.
Yeah, I can't remember. It might be 1984, but that seems too grown up to be my first grown up book.
Maybe you just jumped right in, man.
I might have. I
I
know
feel like
for
that
a long
book was too
time.
grown up for me when I read it, man.
That's an intense book. There's
It
like
really
even
is.
not even like the ideas of it, but there's some parts of that book that are intense.
It probably
Very
has the
descriptive.
saddest closing line of any book that I've ever read.
Yes.
So,
Don't ruin it for anyone.
yeah, if you haven't read it, I'm not going to ruin it.
So
You should just read it.
when I think of that book, the thing that comes to mind is him describing the makeup on the prostitute that he met or was with. Like that's the only thing I could think of. The rest of it,
I don't remember those parts. I remember the rats very vividly.
those two.
Yeah, there's a theme here. You really like books with rats.
Did these rats talk to
Rats,
you?
you're
or-
sold.
Yeah, but in the Redwall series, the rats aren't very frightening.
Mm.
They're quite nice, actually. I don't know what my first grown up. Maybe it was Lord of the Rings. I think I probably read Lord of the Rings before I read 1984.
I'm going to let you in on a secret about this podcast, Adam.
I have to have an answer.
We don't have anybody out there fact-checking our lives. So you can basically say whatever you want. Your answer can be whatever you want. It can be the most interesting answer you can come up with at the moment, the easiest one to answer. It can be, because no one's going to go back and check your library checkouts, even though we can, thanks to the Patriot Act.
I'm
It's
gonna
not-
back and look.
counterpoint
It's not
to
that-
what you just said, Aaron. My mom listens.
Oh, she'll call you out.
Yeah.
So it's not truth will hopefully ensue. It's hilarity hopefully ensues. Just saying.
I think your mom would understand.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of my mom, when this podcast comes out, it'll be your birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday, Adam's mom.
So
I'm sorry
Yeah.
Adam didn't get you anything.
it's because I'm poor and in college. I'm gonna call her though.
I'm sorry that Adam didn't get you anything.
I'm sorry that he's a bad son.
Sorry, I can't remember what the first grown-up book I read was, and that I can't think fast enough on my feet to come up with an interesting answer for Aaron.
This question's just been up for days.
Sorry, I'm
We've
such a
been thinking about it.
disappointment, Mom.
Go.
Whatever.
All
Let's
right.
move on. Next answer.
All right, Andrew. What about you?
Okay, so my first grown-up, I can't see my quotations over the mic, so grown-up book is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I read this when I was in middle school, and I felt like it was a step into real books, because I remember I was really into the Goosebumps series when I was in elementary school, and those were like my first chapter books, I guess, but it wasn't until like middle school that I could take something that was still like funny, but still pretty serious and like adult humor. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense.
No, it makes no sense at all.
Okay, well, you're wrong. Anyway, it's like still one of my favorite books. Like I've read it like 4 or 5 times. It's pretty good.
So,
A huge
is
fan.
that the truth, or is just that the most interesting thing you could
No,
possibly?
that is the truth. I will. Should I tell people when I'm lying or?
Guys, Adam, whatever you're sitting on, I think you should adjust it because it seems like something is up your butt.
You guys attacked me.
You attacked Saturday Night Live. That's how it all began.
I didn't attack Saturday Night Live. I just
Whatever,
said
I don't want to talk
it.
about it anymore. So
Might
Hitchhiker's
as
Guide to
well.
the Galaxy. Here's my question about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, because I've never read it. I've seen the movie, and I'm always... Sorry, I'm sick. I've always wanted to read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but my first introduction to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is I was hanging out with some of my friends at a buddy's house, and we were sitting on the rooftop, and we were just hanging out at night, and this guy brings up a book up the ladder, and he had like a heck of a time getting it up the ladder. Like, that's how big the book was. It was as if he was like carrying like a dictionary with like an etymological dictionary. Like it was like as
an
thick as it was
encyclopedic
tall and
guide to the
wide.
galaxy.
like it's like it was like a cube. You know what I mean? Like a giant heavy cube of paper. And then when he sat it down next to him on the roof, it was like thunk. And I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "Oh, it's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy." And I was like, "Well, probably won't ever read that because that is crazy." Is it that long? Was I misinformed? What is going on?
It's a trilogy.
So what?
Of 5
No,
books.
it's the increasingly inaccurate trilogy. That's what it says. That's the title. Hitchhiker's Guide. So what he was probably had is, because I have it too. It's all the books in one volume, and it's pretty big. But you can buy the first one's only like 250 pages long.
Is it one of those things where I can read the first one and feel like, good, okay, that was good, and I don't? It's not like now I have to dedicate a huge portion of my life to this complete series.
You can read the first one, but you would probably want to read the second one because it's really good.
I don't want to start.
But here's the thing, though. Here's why it's amazing, and this is why Douglas Adams was ahead of his time. Is because it originally started out as a radio play, and you can find it on the internet and download it, and it's really good. But Douglas Adams, knowing that he was going to turn it into a book, what he did is he changed the story in a different iteration. So it's the same characters, same plot, but different things are said, different things are done. And then he turns around and he makes it different when they did a television adaptation for the BBC. Is he did the same characters, same plot, but different jokes, different ways they go about it. And so they did that for the movie too, because people don't know Douglas Adams actually worked on the original screenplay, and then it was changed. And so when the movie came out, people were really different than the book, but they don't really understand that's how Douglas Adams always did it. Because he even did a video game, which was a text adventure game. That's also really good. But he did
I'm not playing a text adventure game.
It's free online. You should check it out. It's on the BBC. It's pretty good. But then he changed that too. So it's the same story, same characters, but they go to different places and do different things. So every iteration of the story is different, and you can listen to it, and it's the same characters, and it's really cool because it's still hilarious.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, so he's a pretty smart guy, but I would suggest at least reading the first one. Put
it on my ever increasingly long list.
It's probably. I feel like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is like a distillation of every British joke that's ever been made by a British person. It's just the most British humor in 250 pages that you'll ever see.
It's you could finish it in like a weekend. It's pretty good. It's a good read.
Whenever people say that to me, I'm always just like, you know not the slowness of my reading. Like, I read so slow.
Let me suggest this for you then. find the radio drama.
I
And
don't
listen
have
to that.
time for that because
Says
because
the
you have
man with
finals
70
coming up?
podcasts.
podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good.
No,
I just while I was working out one time, I listened to all of it in like a month. It was pretty good.
I should try that working
I
out.
also have the TV series on DVD. You should also check that out.
Okay, see, this is exactly what I was trying to avoid. I just want to
I'm
read
just
one
trying
book.
to.
That's it. I don't want to
It's.
commit to a lifestyle.
I'm gonna find you a link, or it'll just entice you because it's really funny.
Anyway, all right. So my answer to this question is that I was like 9 or 10, and I saw this book sitting on my parents' bookshelf, and I'd seen my mom reading it, and I was just like, dude, this cover is awesome. It's just like a dinosaur skeleton. That's rad. So it was Jurassic Park, and that book, like, going from reading kid stuff, to Jurassic Park was like super jarring because it was like I'd never experienced feeling scared while I was reading. It was just like a really weird feeling.
Never mind. I was gonna say, I'm just imagining going from Captain Underpants to Jurassic Park.
I don't even know what's Captain Underpants.
Oh,
That's like before your time, or after your time. Actually.
It's after Aaron's time.
See, I'm old. Like,
I'm trying to think of the equivalent. I don't know.
We just had like cave drawings and stuff.
It's like it was. What's something that? What's a book series or a book that came out before Goosebumps? I think that's probably your series, your time frame.
Like the Boxcar Kids.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, that was. I only read like one of those. I didn't really care about it, but
Yeah, that was lame. I had a couple. I'm like, these are stupid. I remember I had a friend.
You can tell that they were meant for a previous generation.
Well, I had a friend who had like all of them, like across the street, and I'd go over to his house, and he had like everything. So I was like, oh, I'll try it out. He was like the first person that brought over a tape of Ace of Base to my house, so we listened to
it. Well, Boxcar Kids and Ace of Base. Don't date yourself.
He also had like every tape, because it was tape, of Boys to Men, which was awesome. I'm like, oh, dude, this guy's so hood.
Did you, like, my brother pointed this out to me the other week. I never really like noticed it, but like, the song "I'll Make Love to You" by Boys to Men was like hilariously, like what he says is like, I will take my clothes off, and then you will take your clothes off too. And then, like, it's super explicit, but not in the way you think. Like, he's like giving like instructables, about how to get busy. It's like the how of how to make love.
Like step by step.
Go back and listen to that song, and you will see.
Anyway, so he had all the books, and I remember looking at it, and I first thought, like, this looks ridiculous. And then I remember, like, reading, like, the first, like, 20 pages. I'm like, I was right. This is ridiculous. So, yeah, it's pretty much like that.
Yeah. So anyhow, Jurassic Park, I really, really liked it. And after that, I didn't read any, like, kid stuff because I was just, like, deep into, like, I think after that I read the Andromeda Strain, and then after that I read, what's that one with gorillas, the Michael Crichton one? Congo. Yeah, I just got into like all those kind of books, like those.
You went on a big Michael Crichton kick.
I did. Well, because for me it was like, this is like a completely new thing, and I was obsessed with it because it was so different. Like think about it, a 10-year-old reading Jurassic Park, where like dinosaurs are like ripping the flesh off of humans, is like, it's pretty gnarly.
It's like pretty descriptive, like the little dinosaur ripping the skin off of a person's finger or something like that. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty intense. I think after that, after I was on my Michael Crichton kick, I read Lord of the Rings for the first time. I read The Hobbit and then Lord of the Rings for the first time. And that was like.
I read. See, the thing is, I think about it. I think I read The Hobbit before I read Hitchhiker's Guide, but The Hobbit always felt like a kid's book to me.
Yeah, that's kind of.
It was written to be a kid's book, actually.
But it was written to be a kid's book back in like the 40s. Like kids today are like, what is going on here? The language is way more grown up in comparison, nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that was fun. All right.
I had a good time.
Adam, hopefully you have an answer to this one.
Okay, so it's time for our second question. I do have an answer to this one. Okay.
Good.
Okay. All right.
Who's like slowly opening a door in the background?
That's just the rest of my house.
All right.
So my question comes via listener Jennifer. I don't know her last name. I don't even know if Jennifer's her real first name because her Twitter handle is Hillary. Anyway, the question is, if you could witness any event, past, present, or future, what would it be?
Andrew, that's you first.
Oh, yes. I was actually postponing because I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say. Past, present, or future?
So,
that's pretty intense. Like, do I want to see something like funny, or do I want to see something funny that's happened to me over and over and over again?
Do you want to like relive the best experience of your life?
Or do I want to like know something about my future? You know what? I don't think I want to know my future as much as like as nice as it'd be to like see your wedding day or something like that. Be like, oh, okay, that helps. I feel like I don't want to, but because I don't know. I feel like that. I don't want things to change. I don't know. I'm getting too deep. Past, present, or future. Okay, this is what I would want to see. The day my brother, I want to see this in the past. The day my brother went on YouTube to look up how to do a backflip and then tried it. It did not go well.
Okay, I have a couple of questions about this.
Okay.
First question, how old was he? Like, when was this?
It was like 4 years ago.
Only
so he was like 21 or 22.
Yeah. Okay. Second question. How much YouTube videos of how to backflip did he just like watch one video and immediately go out and try it, or did he spend a lot of time?
He spent like a good couple hours, like 2 or 3 hours, just watching.
Like either answer is funny to me, right?
Yeah, there's no wrong answer. So it's not just like what he did too, like because obviously it sounds funny, but so he's like, I'm gonna probably hurt myself, so I'm gonna put this mattress. He dragged his mattress out into the front room, and
when he did this indoors.
Yeah, which is even better. But so he does the flip, but he doesn't like do anything. I'm sorry, just thinking about it, it's really funny. But because you would think someone who had been researching it for hours would know what needs to happen with your body in the air, but he jumped up and just landed on his back. It's hard, like a reverse belly flop, and
he didn't even make the flip at all. He just fell back.
He jumped up there as high as he could and fell flat on his back, and it put his back out, and he couldn't move for the rest of the day. It was the greatest thing. Oh my gosh, It's just it brings a smile to my face thinking about it. If I could see that over and over again.
If that could be your Groundhog's Day, you'd be the happiest man alive.
Oh yeah, it would be. Oh man, it was funny because I remember like me and my sister, because it wasn't that long ago, and we just like watched him do it. Like none of us were like, oh, we should spin. We were just like, where this goes. Maybe he'll do it. We don't know.
Oh my gosh. That's so good.
So that's what I would probably see over and over again.
And anybody who doesn't know your brother, it's probably not as funny, but he's like one of the most intense human beings you could ever possibly care to meet. Like he like intense being he's either like really serious or like if he was trying to explain something to you or if he's on a tear about something, sit down. Get ready. He's gonna go
No,
on.
like he doesn't have like a silly bone in his body, so everything he
Yeah.
does is
It's
like
super earnest, right?
yeah. And so imagine him doing something so ridiculous like a backflip,
That's awesome.
which just sounds very silly, but he brings it with the attention to detail like a neurosurgeon would bring to an operation. And then
Yeah.
just completely fail is like the greatest thing. Oh man. Yeah, that's it.
If anyone's ever wondered what it's like to have a brother, now you know.
Yeah,
This is what it feels like. And people who are like only children are going to be so confused about why we're all so terrible. Like laughing at this.
So I'm gonna make an observation. I don't think only children are funny. Just saying.
Wow.
Prove me wrong.
Bold claim.
Okay, now I gotta go on the internet before. Only children comedians.
Put your findings in the show notes.
Okay.
Um,
Okay, that's my question. Keep going.
All right. My answer to that question is that unlike Andrew, I would opt to see my death because what?
Like the moment of your death?
Yeah, like how it happens.
Oh my.
Oh my. I was like, okay, this is gonna not be in the podcast.
I can't understand
This isn't
that
gonna be
because
in the
that's not something I
podcast right
want
now.
to experience. So why would I want to witness it?
I feel like if I knew exactly how long I had left, I knew how it was all gonna go down, then I probably would stop being such a lazy, scared weenie. And I would like just, because if you know how it's gonna end, there's no like, oh well, I have to do this to preserve myself. You know what I mean? Like, I like your fear is kind of taken away because you kind of have that safety net of knowing, well, this is how it's gonna happen. So within these circumstances, within this these bookends, do what you will. I don't know. I feel like
That just seems like a terrible idea. Because coming from a serial procrastinator, knowing the deadline of my life would be the worst possible.
But here's the thing: I don't do anything without a deadline. Like I'm a huge procrastinator too, and I suck at doing. And I procrastinate, and I wait till like the very last minute to do anything. But if I don't have a deadline, I just don't do anything. So it's better to have that struggle for me than it is to just have it open-ended and be like, whatever, I don't know. I'm like, pleading ignorance.
Like it would probably be witnessing my death would probably be a self-fulfilling prophecy for me because like the night before I'll be like, oh crap, I have to live all of my life right now, and then I will just try to do that until I become so exhausted I die. Like,
that sounds like a great life. You get so much crap done.
Like the night before?
No, because obviously it wouldn't be like the day. That would be a real bummer. So you have this opportunity. You're like, I want to see the day I die, and it's the morning when you wake up. Like, crap! I can't even do anything with this.
Dang.
I could have gone back and saw Andrew's brother try to do a backflip.
Oh man, you're missing out. It's good.
Like the Monday before I die, I'm like, oh man, I haven't done anything yet. I need a girlfriend. Like I'll just start freaking out. Like I'll just like take a drive to the Grand Canyon.
I've never seen the Grand Canyon.
Like imagine how scary it would be knowing that you witnessed your death and then living your life and then seeing your face.
What do you mean seeing your face?
So so when you witness your death, right?
Uh-huh.
So so that's past you, and then you see your death, and you're like, oh, that's interesting, your own time, and you start living your life, and then you
Uh-huh.
get to the moment of your death, and you look around, and you see you looking at you.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah, I
feel like that would
wasn't
be very
sure. I
stupid.
wasn't sure we were gonna like actually be there. Like,
Oh, I don't know.
like, yeah, that would be weird. That's like, pretty sure that's a movie that's coming out,
If
right?
not,
Isn't that a movie that's coming out? The people time traveling or whatever. I saw a trailer for it. Am
I
I
don't know.
crazy?
And well, I feel like these are two independent questions.
I hate everything about you.
okay, so I can only find one person that's funny, or even kind of funny, that's an only child, and that's Betty White. So
So,
I put a list in the show notes so you can check it out. But like the list is like Alan Greenspan, Al Pacino, Anthony Hopkins. And you're like, these people aren't funny.
Has Al Pacino ever told a joke?
Oh.
I don't know, but he's been in Godfather. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
he
think
has to be
that
funny.
won an Emmy
David
for best comedy, right?
Uh, um, Adam, your mom is saying that your camera angle is weird today.
Okay, so so on
So
the
I didn't
list,
say
so
it.
on the list it has John the Baptist as So first of all, how do they know?
Why is he on that list?
Did they fact check that
How,
one or
That's uh-oh. Adam,
did we lose?
back?
Oh, you know what? Matthew Perry is an only child.
Oh,
He's
he's
kind of
pretty
funny.
funny, dude.
I want to know how they got to John the Baptist before they got to Jesus.
Jesus isn't an old. Well, okay. Well, I don't want to open up a can of worms.
Oh, you know, it also says Robin Williams is also an only child, but
He's pretty funny too.
I'm not gonna lie, he's not my favorite though.
Well, to each their own.
I wonder if how many people on that list are cast members of SNL?
None so far.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, you know what? You're wrong. Just watch anything Kristen Wiig's in, and that's pretty hilarious.
So, Adam, we haven't heard your answer yet to this question.
Oh yeah, so my answer is I would want to. I would not only want to witness the signing of the Declaration of Independence, I would want to be present at that. Because I would want to use my
So
time
excited.
travel powers to go back to Philadelphia. Everybody signs it, and then they're like,
Make
"Yeah,
the
we
crown
signed it." Then I just
Philadelphia.
want to come up and then just put my name at the bottom and then just disappear. And come
That'd be
back to the
really.
present.
That'd
And
be
come
really
back to the
weird.
present, and everybody's like, "Yeah, nobody knows who this guy is. Like, who's this Adam kid? Like, nobody knows."
You're gonna sign it at that Adam kid.
It's just like a
You gotta put a hashtag for it too.
Hashtag
Hashtag
freedom.
hashtag YOLO.
Hashtag Taylor Swift, so you know that you can get the popularity going. You know what? I was seriously thinking about going back to that because I was thinking about the Constitutional Convention, so that like whenever someone brings up their BS, like, well, the original intent of the founders actually was, I'd be like, nope, I actually hung out with them,
It's like I was there.
and that's not even what they were thinking. You know, like people say the dumbest crap, like regardless of what your political ideology is. Like 90% of the times, people's arguments about that kind of stuff are so wrong. Like they're so historically inaccurate. Like I heard someone say, like, "Oh, well," like they were talking about the Second Amendment, and they're like, "Oh, that's because they only envisioned like small muskets or something." I was like, "They did what? Oh my gosh, they had freaking like cannons, and they had like, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. Regardless of how you think about that, like."
go back in time and ask him, be like, hey, so
It's not
in
historically
the
accurate.
in the future, there's going to be these guns
Semi-automatic
that
machine
you
guns.
don't have to reload after every shot. Are those still in there?
Get like clarification on that so we can just stop the arguing.
Well, I think they have to also realize like the whole purpose of the amendments was even the word amend means to change when times change. So saying like, oh well, no, you should probably look into that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
All I know is that like I hate the idea of people using someone from the past and imposing your ideas on them to use them as an authority on a subject when it's impossible, really, especially if you're an average person. Like, I don't care if you're like a constitutional historian and you do that, because that's your job. Good, do that. But like normal people always say like, oh, well, John Adams, he thought this, or this person. It's like they never even like read a book.
These are the people. These are the people who put John the Baptist on lists of only children.
Only children.
I also want to go back and see, because apparently Benjamin Franklin was pretty funny, and I want to maybe steal some of his jokes.
I think Benjamin Franklin would totally get the hashtag YOLO thing.
I think you can read his stuff though, so there you go.
Yeah, but just like, he's not everything that he said was recorded, because writing stuff down was more difficult.
Yeah. We have the iPhones to tweet out.
Yeah, like there was no Twitter. They just had declarations of independence and stuff.
Hashtag OH.
I wonder if like the 1776 equivalent of Twitter was just like passing a $5 to the town crier and having him shout whatever.
No, you have to read history. It was
your lunch. Hear ye, hear ye. Adam has had a sandwich for lunch. Hashtag delicious.
Hashtag mayonnaise.
You had the history that had newspapers. There was like a bajillion newspapers back then. That was Twitter of the day.
That's true. Everyone had. If you want, like, there was that. We're in the podcasting renaissance. They were in the newspaper renaissance.
Yeah, so that's what it was.
I wonder if they had these really
hashtag
these really annoying discussions about the best kind of paper to use for your newspaper.
I bet they talked about ink.
And who should and who shouldn't start a newspaper.
They probably had just really long, really boring conversations about monetizing your newspaper.
Yeah. Oh.
About how to build readership.
Like all of the newspapers were inside baseball, which was funny because baseball hadn't been invented yet.
Right.
But they keep saying it.
They kept saying inside baseball.
I hope this baseball thing happens because this saying doesn't make sense.
I know newsprint isn't in your wheelhouse, Thomas, but all right.
There's a bunch of business newspapers about how to build and grow your business. Newspaper.
Bunch of bot ones just like throwing around you. Anyway.
People just going around saying, hey, I'll review your newspaper if you review my newspaper. Sorry, I've driven this joke into the ground now.
We were waiting for you to stop, so.
Sometimes
waiting for me to realize it on my own.
Just let him drain. All right. Adam, or no, sorry, you did Andrew.
Okay, well, I gotta read what I wrote exactly so I don't change it. So, no, open the wrong one. Okay, if you could just if you could describe yourself with one idea, what would it be and why? And for those who don't know, an onomatopoeia is a word that represents a sound. So think of Batman when he'd punch people and the words would fly out.
Wham, pow, or Wolverine when his claws come out and it says snicked.
Yeah.
Snicked. That's like the best onomatopoeia ever invented.
Yeah.
So like detailed.
or the Spiderman Thwip.
Yeah.
For when he shoots his mouth.
The Spiderman Thwip sounds like some sort of dance.
The Spider-Man Thwip? Yes, it does.
The Spider-Man Thwip. Hey, you know, I don't want to derail us, but what would the Spider-Man Thwip look like?
I don't know. I can't dance.
I feel like a lot of arm movements and a lot of hip gyration.
I just picture one of
Like you
those
put your
terrible
hand up?
Taiwanese videos that they make for the news.
Yeah.
And it's got like Spider-Man, and he's like, he's just like gyrating his hips and shooting.
Like you put your hand up like you're attaching a web to a building, and then you just like gyrate a little bit.
So I think yes.
That's it.
So yeah, it's gonna be like the white.
Watch out.
It's gonna
Wobble,
look like
wobble,
the.
watch out.
It's gonna look like the white
the
girl front.
Spider-Man's with.
It's gonna look like the white girl front, but with your hands in the air, like you're gonna swing webs.
Okay, I want videos of this. I want people to send videos of the Spider-Man Thwip to us. I want to see these. Get on it. Get on it, fans.
I love how we came up with the name of it before we actually came up with the dance. We're working backwards.
Sometimes you just start with the name, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Buddy Box.
No, we had the idea first, and we called it the Buddy Box.
The Buddy Box website has been getting a lot of really good traffic still.
It
doesn't go anywhere, but
it's more like Kiss Starter, where we're like, I don't know what we're going to do with this, but that's an awesome name.
Kiss Starter, yeah, that's still out there. If you haven't seen Kiss Starter, you should go to kissstarter.com. If you haven't seen Buddy Box, it's buddybox.me. Go to those websites. They're definitely not a waste of your time.
Do you know why it's buddybox.me? Because only you can put yourself in the buddy box.
Exactly.
That should be the tagline.
It's actually oh my gosh, my English something like a command. What's the word for a command?
Imperative?
Yes, it's an imperative. Buddy box me, like beer me. Buddy box me. Yeah. I definitely didn't spend 2 hours building that. Spider-Man Thwip, get on it, guys. I want to see videos of this. Would it be fair to say that if people shoot Spider-Man Thwip videos and we pick one as our favorite, that person can get some of Adam's famous chocolate chip cookies? Would you be willing to do that, Adam?
So, you know how my nickname this week was Holy Crap Finals Are Coming?
You don't have to do it now. You can wait till a couple weeks.
But yes, eventually, we could invite them on the show?
No, that's too complicated.
We'll even do it better than this. We will do that dance if it wins, and we agree that that's the winner.
No, we already know the dance. We already described the dance. I mean, the dance.
Well, we will dance it to the one that I don't know. We'll do it.
I don't know. I think the cookies are a better bribe.
We'll do both.
That's been our best bribe so far. Anyhow, remember when we had a question? Okay, so I'm supposed to describe myself with one onomatopoeia and then answer why. Yes. Mine was That's my onomatopoeia. HRMM. It would have just been HMM, but I feel like that R kind of gives it a little bit more of a questioning, like, as you could say,
Makes it feel a little more condescending.
Yes, and I feel like that describes myself very well. Like my face when I'm thinking is a very condescending face. Like a lot of times people think I'm like judging them because I have this injury when I crashed on a scooter in St. Louis, Missouri, and nearly killed myself. And I had these stitches in my eyebrow. So like when I furrow my eyebrows, only one of my eyebrows goes down right. And they kind of like do like a raised eyebrow thing. And so it looks like instead of being like it looks more like What?
So you have resting condescension face.
Yeah. I'm really not. I hope I'm not condescending. I just try not to be. But I think that describes me pretty well because I am thinking a lot, but my thinking is often misinterpreted as like anger, disapproval, or condescension. I'm usually not condescending. I'm usually outright. Like if I really think what you did was stupid, I'm really outright about it. I'm not condescending.
Yeah,
People who know me know that.
Or if you've listened to this episode and have witnessed Aaron's attacks on me just because I don't like SNL, then you know.
I don't think framing them as attacks is quite correct. My rebuttals.
Oh, wait for the attacks.
Just you watch yourself.
Also, last week you promised to send me a bunch of funny SNL skits, and you didn't. And I'm actually kind of sad.
I'm sorry, I'll do it. It'll happen.
Because I do think that they have funny skits all the time. Anyway, I'm gonna stop now.
I believe they're called sketches.
Yeah.
Did you see the Swiftamine commercial?
I didn't.
Swiftamine commercial's pretty good.
It's pretty hilarious. Should probably see that.
Anyway, I need to stop coming back to that.
Adam, it's your turn.
So my answer is Biff. Because it's so versatile, right?
Oh, I thought it was because a future version of yourself had come back and given you an almanac.
No.
And that you were suddenly going to take over the world.
I don't get that reference.
Elaborate on how you feel about manure, please.
Not a big fan of it. Don't even get me started on McFly.
Can I hear some anecdotes about leaving or going places?
Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
Yes.
Oh, so Biff.
Yeah, Biff, because it's really versatile. I punched a dude once. Biff works for that. But also I fail all the time. And Biff works for that. I've gone snowboarding and I fell over. Biff works for that. My life is just a series of Biffs, one after another.
It's the multi-tool of automatopoeias.
It really is.
Automatopoeia Leatherman.
Sometimes I flop down on a couch. Biff works for that.
So what I'm getting from you is that you think a defining characteristic of yourself is like the effects of gravity on you. Like you're just like a piece of meat.
Just kind of constantly falling.
Getting tossed around or tossed into things.
It's a very universal sound. Most of the things that I do sound like Biff.
Doesn't sound like Biff when you fart.
I like how you whispered it like a little child asking a question. You know, it's wrong.
I'm really sad the audio listeners won't be able to see your little devilish grin. You look like you're 6 years old again.
Don't bring it up. The one time me and the guy who gave us the link to Tosh.0, me and Todd were driving somewhere, and we were he just out of nowhere he's like, "Did you ever realize that some people's names sound like a fart?" And so we just kept saying people's names.
Let me hear examples.
Fart noise. So like Bart.
Oh, that's where it started because I know what you're talking about.
What about Peter?
Well, thanks. That's all I'm going to be able to think about now.
Todd. Yeah, you can do. There's a lot of you can do.
That's where our podcast has got to.
Actually, this is where we started, and then we deviated away from that. And now we're back.
Yeah, we started. I think wasn't our first episode where you were just talking about your IBS.
Yes.
Fun. Okay, so Adam is Biff.
Yeah, but also if you elongate Biff, it can work for even more things. It's like Biff.
That's just words, though. You're just the F part.
Yeah, I could do that with Herm. I think that we're really elevating the medium right here today.
I think
Yeah,
we are. I
well,
don't think there's enough podcasts with fart jokes in them.
let's just do a podcast where it's just fart noises over and over again for an hour.
So many CPMs.
Sponsored by MailChimp.
MailChimp
I don't
sends
think
fart
Richard has
noises.
to do with us.
Send high fives and fart noises.
I use MailChimp, and I fart a lot. All right.
Okay, so my answer is humph. And that's like the sound of me just falling into the couch. That's my life. It's just like finding other places to rest myself. Because at work, right, it's really weird because, like, I'm a fan of sitting down. It's quite comfortable. I enjoy it. But at work right now, I watch this kid with autism, and right now he's on this kick where he cannot let me get up. Like, I have to sit down and look at him all day. and so what he'll do is, like, if I like turn to the other direction to talk to someone or help another student, he'll like grab me by the knee and like pull me back over, and then like make sure I'm facing him, and then he'll go back and doing what he's doing. And the first time in my life, I wish I wasn't sitting down. But anyway,
he's totally dominating you, man.
Yeah, I know, it's a terrible relationship we have going on. But if you told me I was going to get paid to just look at a kid for 6 hours, I'd have signed up a lot sooner. I'm like this close. I can't see it, but I'm very close to just being paid to literally babysit. Like, I'm just watching the child.
Literally, you sit and
I sit
the child.
at this man-child. That's it.
Oh man, you know things are bad when you start to become a connoisseur of sitting. You know what I mean? You sit
Yeah.
at work all day, and then you come home and you're like, oh, I finally get to sit in a couch.
Yes.
I finally get to sit in my lazy boy.
I was sitting.
So sad.
I was sitting at work, and then I had to sit in my car all the way home, and then I got home and I finally get to sit. Yeah.
Sometimes after a long car trip, just like when you're in the car for a couple hours and you're just sitting the whole time, and then you get home and the rest of whenever my family would go on with these car trips, the rest of my family would just stand up around our house, and I would just make a beeline for the couch. And they'd be like, Adam, how can you do this? I'm like, it's a different kind of sitting.
You feel like I know what you're
not
talking
the same.
about. Those long car rides, and you feel like an astronaut who's returned from like a 6-month-long mission in space. Like your muscles have atrophied, and you're like really excited to stand up and move around, and then you're like, oh no, this is miserable. I'm gonna sit down and find the couch. So sad.
You get to lay on the couch. The couch is softer than a car seat. The couch is not moving. It's a different kind.
I'm actually kind of glad that cars aren't as comfortable as a couch, because I already almost fall asleep on the way home. Having the added benefit of a couch would just kill me. I'd be dead right now. I'd be asleep.
Have you ever seen those couch sickle things?
Yeah, I have seen those.
That would be terrible.
Couch sickles.
It's just like a vehicle made out of a couch.
It's just a motorized couch.
Sign me up for that, man.
That's what it is. Here, I'm sure I can find a GIF or something like that. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Anyway,
You guys are opening my eyes. Yeah, cool. Well, that's it, right? That's it.
That's it.
That's all she wrote. Let me read our little closing thing here. Well, thanks for listening. You can find show notes for this episode at 3g3q.co/214. We'd love to hear from you, so get a hold of us. You can email us at 3guys3questions@gmail.com. Where can people get a hold of you guys?
You go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm never the first one, but okay.
I know.
So I can be found on Twitter at that Adam Kid, and I can also be found at the bottom of the Declaration of Independence. So
Look for him there. Andrew, what about you?
I'm at @A_SAV. Please follow me. Please interact with me. At work, while I'm sitting and looking at a child, I would appreciate some interaction from the outside world.
Some sort of stimulus while he's putting together a puzzle.
It's so hard. It's a struggle.
Yeah,
He's
I've been in
putting
those
together,
jobs you're talking about.
putting together a puzzle, playing with paper. It's very entertaining.
People can find me at Aaron LM Goodwin on Twitter. And remember, you can ask us questions at 3g3q.co/ask, and you can do it anonymously if you want. Or you can call and text us at 760-881-4382. Just let it go to voicemail and leave us a message, or you can even send a text message like with a question, or
Or phone call us.
Dance moves. Rate us on iTunes by going to 3g3q.co/rate. That really helps people find us, and we only have like 3 ratings. So basically, I feel betrayed by all of our listeners who haven't gone and rated our show. So
It just takes a minute. Like, the more popular you are, the more likely that we won't find other things to do with our time.
Yeah, this is gonna be our last episode. If we don't get a rating,
whoa, let's not put a stipulation.
the last one. Otherwise, I'm done.
So have your friends rate, have your dog, anyone who has an iTunes account rate, find random strangers' phones and rate it. Just hey, can I buy your phone for a second? Rate.
5 stars.
What's this peculiar podcast you subscribed me to?
Yes.
Oh,
if they have an iPhone, they have an account, so you can just go and look it up and rate it real quickly.
Yeah, everybody, thanks for listening. It's been a good time, and we'll see you next week for our last episode of this series. Before
with a special
special Christmas episode, and we're gonna have a special guest next week, so that should be fun.
We should probably tell people who it is.
We're really growing up as a podcast. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're having guests that are special.
It's actually special. It's not Adam's mom or something like that.
No, wait, hey. My mom is special, by the way.
I'm not saying she's not special.
Anyway, let's just end this off at the pass.
Are we gonna tell people who the guest is, or are we just gonna woo, there's a guest?
The guest is what's her name from the Nerd Out Loud podcast?
What's her name? I think is her official title.
Yeah. Other than that, goodbye, and remember, question everything. Question all the things. Robert.
Is that Robert?
Yeah.
I still like Peter.
Adam. Peter. I used to do this thing when my band would play shows, and there was like a technical difficulty or something weird was going on, and we had a longer break between songs than expected. And I'd ask the audience, I'd be like, you guys want to hear my I do impressions. I'm like that sound effects guy from Police Academy. Do you want to hear my impression of a baby fart? And obviously no one would ever answer yes. They just look at me like really confused, and I go, like I'd move my lips like I was getting ready, licking my lips to do this impression for like 30 seconds to a minute, and then I go.
That shouldn't be as funny as it is.
Almost never did it get a laugh except for me, and I didn't care. I would do it every single time. I think it's pretty funny. It's a baby. It's just gonna be.
Okay, I gotta do homework.
All right, stop. Let's stop the recording. Send your files to me, por favor. As
Por
quick
favor.
as possible. I want to try to get this one done before tomorrow. Oh, why isn't it letting me name it? Save. Episode 14.
Is that really the one we're on? Oh my goodness.
Whoa,
That's
I'm gonna-
crazy, huh?
gonna
Another thing
call
we need to
myself
talk
now.
about is our schedule for season 3. So in the season 3 in the Slack chat, if there's any like holidays or things that you know that you like, if you have like a spring break or something, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I don't have a spring break.
Okay.
I don't either. I don't think so anyway. I'm not going anywhere doing anything. I'll have a lot more time. I have set up all my classes. I'm taking 2 online classes and 3 actual classes, and like they all start at like 9:45 or something like that. So I'm planning to sleep in every day. It's gonna be amazing.
You know how you work in education when you're saying that having to be somewhere at 9:45 and sleeping in, because like we get people that are like, when do you do your live show? And we're like 10 a.m. on Saturdays. They're like, oh, I wanted to sleep in. I'm like, what? Sleeping into them is like 4 p.m.
It's funny because I was listening to obviously Bossy Pants, and she's talking about working at the YMCA, and she's like, I don't think people realize how actually sleeping until noon is so bad, because when you wake up to go to work at 5 a.m. and it's 10 o'clock and it's been 5 hours, it makes you so bad when you sleep past 11.
Yeah, I don't know. I used to do that. I used to sleep.
Oh yeah.
I'm like naturally a night owl, but I work in education, so never gonna. I know it's not good for you either. Like, we probably evolved to like be awake when the sun's up.
I think that's true, but I think that now because we have indoor lighting, I think it's not as big of a thing anymore, and because we're not farmers.
You're not a farmer.
No, I'm not.
Man, I want this couchsicle. But this doesn't even have like a steering wheel or anything.
No, he's like using a controller. He's just like,
I don't know about that.
because it looks like he's playing video games.
That is pretty cool. All right.
Okay.
You guys have a great day. Bye to everyone in the chat room, being us and Adam's mom.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take
See you
care of
guys.
yourself. See ya.